Chandra's depths.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna do like this. 6. Which?
Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aora could transport us so quickly, or so far.
Back to the beginning, where it all started.
What happened to the living land started long ago, and we're going to finish it.
Are you seeing this? I don't think Paradis looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
Time flowed quickly in the garden. Yet I was right.
For once, I wish I wasn't. Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time, assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Ringrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
Pastor Hilga must know something about this.
If he didn't start this himself.
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapadal?
Freed Sapadal from the prison. The Dream Scourge is over.
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. I only hope we can say the same about Sapadal. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
War has a mind of its own. No one will care about what we have done.
You've saved the soul of the living lands. Now the survivors fight over its bones. We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
They marched in with no one. Envoy, what does the Garrote think they're doing?
Whatever it takes to show Paradis they are in charge.
What's the point of exploring if you just want to plant your flag everywhere?
Is everything at the Imperium alright?
They broke some glass, but the map is safe. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. God, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help.
Take care of yourself and don't get killed.
I won't give them the satisfaction of killing me.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Okay. Nice, we take those. We will need. We don't need these. Yep, nice sounds, delicious sound.
Snow here?
It's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard she made it snow in Shattered.
A familiar face. We meet again, Envoy. And you, Yardsley. You're always a prodigious and welcome sight.
Oh, yes. Always a pleasure to see you, too.
Paradis burns. Thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
Well, what are you doing here?
I bear witness. Heroes and villains will arise from this moment in mortal history. I find such occasions irresistible.
How many have written their names in history before your very eyes?
So very many. Too many to discuss right now. But we'll talk about them someday. I promise. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions.
Free the Sapodon. That is incredibly world-changing.
Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice.
I'm certain I did.
Ah, that mortal zeal. Always so fun. We will see if you're correct. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire.
I hope we meet again in better circumstances.
Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy. I And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll discuss that later.
What happens in Donjo shall ripple across the living lands. Oh, Envoy, how good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradis burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the living lands stand ready to defend their home.
Are you recording today's events for the archives?
Yes. What happens in Paradis now will decide the fate of the Parkrunen after all.
What's the plan if Paradis falls?
We will find a way to persevere. We Parkrunen have a gift for surviving inhospitable conditions, and always have. Whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Edir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that.
I won't come to pass, I promise.
I hope so, Envoy. I truly do. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons.
The Envoy. Is that you? Envoy, how did you... I don't know. Where did you come from? You just appeared out of nowhere.
I was transported here by the power of Sapadal, god of the living lands.
Ah, your face. We all wondered whose godlike you were. But listen to me rambling. Forgive me, Envoy. I won't keep you long. I just want to make one request while you're here.
He's dancing back
As
and
much
forth.
as you can. Be good to the living lands.
Even after all the living lands put you through, that's what you desire?
Yes, but more than that, I'd just like for us to live lives that are free. For us. Not Adir to determine our fates. It's going to be up to you, Envoy. I know you have much to do, so I'll just leave you with
For
that.
now he is
Thank you.
like dancing back and forth, left and right. Okay. Let's do an upgrade. One glasswood branch. Oh, you freaking kidding me. Okay, we can do this then. We're both fully upgraded now. Tempted to try it out. We need 10 more hides. If I break down this, I get 10, exactly what we need. Okay. There's two people who wants to talk,
Do you think you could teach me to shoot?
So, here we are. The first and last battle for the living lands.
You can only hope it's the last.
Try praying instead of just hoping. That might work better for you. Metaphysically, the battle is already over. Sapadal is free, and the Dream Scourge is gone. But politically, we have a small mess to tidy up.
You have unfinished business with the Steel Garrote.
I intend to send a message to the Steel Garrote. And it won't be subtle. Anyway, who knows what tomorrow will bring? So let's be grateful for today. You've earned a little peace of mind.
We all have.
I think that's enough wool gathering for now. Besides, I need to tinker on the phantasmal focus. Make sure it's ready for war. Don't stay up too late.
Let's talk about the Battle for Paradis.
Anything in particular?
No.
Pleasant dreams.
She has more to say? Oh no.
We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You liberated the god of the living lands. Now they are unchained, free to do whatever they want. That's quite a gamble you made.
Trust up around to do the right thing.
I admire your confidence. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing their cage like a wild animal. Which means you have leverage over a god. How do you plan on using it?
I use it to make a better living lands.
That's a lot of responsibility, but I have faith you're equal to it. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions.
Either way, things could not continue as they have.
For better or worse, change is inevitable. Maybe you'll find some comfort in prayer, now that one of the gods is listening. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp.
We've been through a lot together, haven't we?
We're not finished yet. For that I'm grateful. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. Not before I've done some reading.
Yeah. What Marius has to say.
There you are, Envoy. You ready for this?
I don't think anyone can be ready for a situation like this.
You're probably right. I guess it helps we have a god on our side, right? I mean, a god beats a skeleton knight any day. This is just cleanup. Just figuring out who controls the living lands from here out.
Right, this is just politics.
Someone once told me that war is just applied politics. Never really understood what that meant. Anyway, you should get some rest. Oh, if you need to rehearse any speeches or whatever, make sure you do it in front of someone else.
I have a really good one about the founding of Solace.
I promise you I've heard it. Talk to you later, Envoy.
Okay.
Yatsli, I have a theory.
We don't need
Do
to
tell.
I have so much food already. Okay. Ta in Yatsli. See what they have to say here.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god.
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nakutadek?
The origin of the Dream Scourge? It was the act of a god this whole time?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak. It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
I met the god of the living lands and freedom.
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dream Thralls still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them?
Sapadal is the god of the godless and the god of the living lands.
Ludwig had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
Giada and I have some theories about the nature of the Adra in the living lands.
I'd say we're past the point of theorizing.
If the Adra here is a closed system, like a terrarium for our souls, then a gradual accumulation of essence could coalesce into a being in the beyond.
Much like the formation of gemstones. All it takes is time and the right application of pressure.
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradis? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Nakutadek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
We saw similar destruction at Nakukubel. If these roots and the Dream Scourge are the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
Sapadal was afraid of an Adrian invasion when Wodiagas returned. They didn't mean to hurt us.
For now.
Who's to say they don't get their feathers in a ruff again and wipe us all out with a tsunami?
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Sapadal's power ravaged my people. I don't know that I can ever trust it.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradis. Inquisitor Ludwine has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
I distinctly remember killing Ledwin on top of Mount Foria.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwine's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Oh, she's going to try and kill me again, isn't she?
Regrettably, she's not in the business of making exceptions for people she deems Oathbreaker. So long as her passion for Wodica lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That'll be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible.
What did you know about this attack, Ambassador?
Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwine who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city shortly after you beat her to the garden.
Do we know the state of the city?
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradis is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dream Scourge, and the Steel Garrote's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
Stays all the opposition.
We brought as many Hale and Able from Thirdborn as would come. But after the Dream Scourge and our losses from Nakukubel, we could spare so few. I worry it won't be enough.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garrote for the sake of Paradis, not when we are so few.
What are your plans for a counterattack?
Well, it's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the Steel Garrote, nor who should lead the effort.
Nobody wants to risk their people at the front.
So you let the Paradis militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside,
The siege won't end until Ludwine does. And none of you know how to kill her.
precisely.
What does Ledwin hope to achieve here?
The lawful settlement of a new Adiran colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement.
It's unrealistic to assume these people will roll over and surrender.
I suspect that's rather the point. If they don't believe in the strength of her convictions, she'll show them. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodica, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the Queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Why did Ledwin decide to attack Paradis?
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig and the Tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Okej, det har vi göra. Vi kan så blame when it does cells.
Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradis cries out for help?
Enough. I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now.
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands.
More than that, isn't it? The foundations of Adir are crumbling.
That's what Ludwig thinks. Adir doesn't revere Wodika as fervently as it once did. Worship of Mogrin, Berith, even Aethys has gained a foothold. Many no longer trust that the gods are listening. Some question whether they guide the wheel at all. The Empire lost its foothold in the Eastern Reach. The well-bred avoid child-rearing in pursuit of cosmopolitan pleasures. The Church is weak against them. In a world of soul against soul, Ludwig believes we have lost ours. The Empire must change, or it will die.
Oh, the Empire must change, but not like this.
I'm afraid you're in the minority there. You and I both know she is not the only one in the Empire who feels this way. Even the Emperor can see, in some sense, that she's right. Why else would we be here?
Is this what the Emperor wants?
The Inquisitor answers only to Wodika. In attacking Paradis, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires.
Oh. Enough of this. What happens next?
I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here.
I have another idea. How about the United Living Lands?
Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
What do you think?
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Adir came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Opinion, Sapadal?
Rest into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
I assume the assembled leaders have thoughts.
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you. I like the idea of twisting beneath Adir's boot heel even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil, I'm open to uniting if you are.
It's a nice idea, but consider the costs. If we walk away from a relationship with Adir, we're leaving a lot of trade on the table. But the people of Thirdborn have friends in the world. I'm sure we'd find our way through.
With the Envoy's support, we'd have a god in our pocket. What could the Empire do to stop us? Together, we could repair Thior and create such miracles of animancy the Living Lands will become the envy of the world. It would be the honor of my life to stand with my people beside you all.
Okay, tell me about other possibilities.
Of course.
I'm not familiar with the Griefram. How does that work?
The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Adir's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Graveroom's aid.
Who would be our grave?
Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision. But I suspect he would choose you. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwig. But you were born to rule here. Quite literally.
Is that what to take in?
Well, give the matter some thought. You owe that much to yourself, at least.
Okay. We have ads coming, so 3-minute break. Can assemble these efforts?
We give up our fighters and the wealth of our lands, and get promises in return. But we have wealth enough to give some away, if it means my wardens may return to their vigil in peace.
A grave rum could work, so long as trade keeps moving through the Scarp and you're willing to serve as our go-between envoy. And we'll have cannons enough to deter the adherents from trying anything stupid.
When the Empire demands its tribute, from where will it come? Emerald Stair is not the breadbasket it was, and the dream of Fjord is now deferred. If we accept this deal, I fear we are building a trap certain to catch our own legs.
Companions?
Tribute, he says. Taxes. Soldiers. The Empire has tried it all before. Look to the Eastern Reach if you don't believe me. They want to bleed us dry, to fill their coffers and fight their wars, to break us like wild animals. But I will not bend.
You're gonna pick the...
It's still a gamble, but I think it's the safest bet. We'd get the benefits of Imperial trade and protection without losing all of what makes this place special. There's no way of knowing what it would mean in another generation or two. But right now, it gives us the security and stability to recover.
We were fine before Adir showed up, and we'll be fine when they're gone. Trust the lands and her people, Envoy.
If we give Adir power over us, we can't be surprised if they decide to flex it later.
Anyone Sapadal?
Some pernicious. Cut the rot, yet the disease remains.
Exactly.
Safety among spiders. A web gleaming with dew. They weave, they wait.
Of course.
Why are you and I involved in this decision, God?
That's what I would like to know.
You have seen more of this land and met more of its people than any of us. Your opinion is informed. You were empowered by the Emperor himself to investigate an impossible problem. And against the odds, you solved it. You are the close personal friend of a rogue god. And in our dealings together, I found you to be a person of substance and conviction. But mostly, it's because you're a Diran, so I trust you. And these fine people here are going to do whatever they like if they don't agree with you anyway.
Okay, I know what I would like to do.
Well, don't leave me in suspense.
I believe we should fight for a united living lands.
Oh, gods have mercy.
Solus and her wardens stand vigil with the living lands.
By grit and steel, Thirdborn stands with the living lands.
Fjord and her animancer stand with the living lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
Gosh, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwine and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
And I will meet Ludwig on the battlefield. Let no man stand who tries to stop me.
The living lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks. Ludwig must die her final death.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Thank you all for trusting me.
Thank you for deserving it. Now, go and teach the Steel Garrote a lesson they will never forget.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza.
Understood.
May all the gods of Eora and the living lands protect you.
Let's take back the city together. Show the Steel Garrote how the living lands takes care of its own.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote. Lead the way, Envoy.
Let's go free a city, shall we?
Okay, let's she wanted to tell us how to kill Ludwig, so let's do this then. You have to say, Maurice?
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up.
I will. I'm gonna check in on everyone.
Well, I'm just fine. More or less. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness.
You're right. It doesn't make sense, but sometimes it's necessary.
You know, I've never seen a bear go to war. They fight for survival, not for causes. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradis until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine, really. But it's some blessed day Sokka when you think about it.
Glad you're with me, Maurice.
Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, Envoy.
Oh yeah, we reached max level 30. We're gonna put this point in. That one was just good for a while. Still okay. Let's see. Could unlock the last one, so we can use this one with the book. Holy crap, that one cost a lot, 125 essence. Could put a point in here, because then with the book we're gonna get the third. We'll reduce the cost, yeah, let's do it.
You go get some ballistic.
Character point. Let's get the decks up again, so it's the last one point. That's it, yeah. Okay, and yes, I had
I can't
something
wait
to say
to
here.
get the steel garrote to pieces. Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradis militia. Your emperor will not be pleased.
I have influence in court. My report on the living lands will change minds.
Political influence is dangerous. If you aren't careful, it can turn against you. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you are told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last.
Living lands has set me for who I am. I can't forget that.
All we ask in return is that you do the same for us. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him.
Noted, thanks for the warning.
I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. Time for you to get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us.
We're going to cross paths with Ludwig again. Are you concerned?
In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing.
Because Zapadol challenged her faith?
Precisely. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Zapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are.
Well, I can't just destroy her, I have to destroy her faith.
That's my point, exactly. I think you already have. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research.
How do you feel about the future of the Living Lands?
When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. So imagine my surprise when you gave the Living Lands a chance to unite, to prove itself, and to stand tall before its enemies. Granted, it was an uphill climb. The Dream Scourge exposed our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities. But thanks to our struggle, the island finally knows itself. Now we can decide who we want to become. I can't wait to see what we do with that freedom.
I hope the Living Lands is up to the challenge.
Either way, the challenge is ours. No one can take it from us. But to answer your question, the future looks bright for a change.
You worry about the outcome of the siege?
Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the Living Lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. And change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over.
Okay.
Not before I've done some reading.
We are done. Yep. Okay. Let's rumble. Time for the battle.
Here we go!
Your days.
That'll teach you!
Yeah. It's no use. We're overrun. It's all right. You're a better soldier than I ever was.
Shit, that was the one big dude. Oh, Grakor.
This shall be a bloody
He actually came here to help.
Stop right there. And roll.
Big break!
Big boy came in and cleaned. Any of these a healer? No. Oh, come on.
Get off me!
And roll. And roll.
not to make you mad.
Let's do. He doesn't care.
Foolishness.
Just what everyone needs at the end. Someone to watch him die.
Didn't you explode just a little bit the last time we saw you?
Barely holding on, really. I'll always thank the gods that we took down the mines and crippled the living land's resistance.
Okay, how in the world did you survive the explosion?
Survive? They flatter me. I'm barely hanging on. Those resistance bastards did a number on me, as you can see. On that note, I'm glad to see you. I can't believe, after everything we accomplished in Shatterscarp, that you would betray the Emperor. Why, Envoy?
After all we have done, we don't deserve these lands.
And the others here are deserving. Why? Because they made it here some number of years before us? You won't stop us. Even if I'm food for worms. One way or another, these lands belong to Adir.
Kill him. Disappointed. One is gonna be the best.
And rock.
We'll get them next time.
And roll.
I need my space.
A little turret up there.
Envoy, what are you doing here? I thought you left town weeks ago.
Garrett has gone too far. I'm going to put a stop to it.
About time. You're the only one Ludwig will listen to.
Are there any other survivors?
I saw a few on my way here. I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it.
I appreciate it. Be careful.
You shouldn't find much opposition down there. I wish someone had stood up to the
But,
steel
you know,
Garot a long time
I'm kind
ago.
of stubborn. I want to kill
But,
more.
well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck.
5? Only 5 of them in front? There we go, straight head on.
Is someone stop right there?
Let me out.
Envoy over here. What exactly do you think you're doing?
Liviana, don't you ever take a break?
You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the steel Garot. What have you got to say for yourself?
Nice to see you too, Daviana.
Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. Kai, is this your doing?
Come on. I couldn't have kept him out of the action if I wanted to.
I knew you were a bad influence. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess.
Anything I can do to help?
Yeah, stop the fighting. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practiced with Uncle Capo 100 times. Tight, but not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try that number 6 and see what it does. I haven't used it yet. Okay, a minute cooldown.
Coming from your right.
What the freaking heck is that thing up there?
Stay behind. Don't do it.
And stay down. Glorious battle.
Wonder if I shouldn't. Yeah, I should use those explosives now. Grenades, I mean. These, because it makes them get stunned.
Monica demands your
Oh, but look how easy.
Stand against her and fall.
Let's pay Ludwig one final visit, shall we?
Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
Let's make sure she stays dead this time. All right, dearie?
Yeah, let's do a save here. I don't know if the game will make a save. She's probably gonna get a lot of ads, so it comes and helps her.
There you are.
Yeah, here I am. Time to kick your ass again, huh?
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time?
Possibly. I know how to break you now.
So you say. But you can't kill me in a way that hasn't been tried already. Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise.
Oh yeah, we need to use some buffs this
Order
time.
is meant to be imposed
So we do
by
some
a
more damage
stern,
and stuff.
guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Living lands will unite and remain free. There's nothing you can do about it.
You can tell Wodaka yourself once we've sent you back to the wheel.
Don't insult my intelligence or my commitment to the cause. Treaties can be burned. The hands which shook over whatever deal you struck can be lopped off at the wrist. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live.
As usual, you leap to conclusions about something you barely understand.
Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
Oh, don't worry.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
You won't survive this fight, yet says you're vulnerable.
Really, Envoy? You think the delusional theories of a failed animancer are enough to scare me? Then allow me to teach you the meaning of fear.
Let's finish this. Together.
You won't be missed, Ludwig.
Once I'm done killing you...
Let's see. How many buffs can we have?
Your god of flame!
We are every seed in the soil. We will always grow.
Whoa! Queen among queens! Send me your aid!
That was all you had to come with? What the freaking heck?
Help me! One last time! Monica! Where are you? No! Don't abandon me now! This is it!
Okay, those ain't doing shit to her, so... Well, I ran out of stamina. Yeah, why not? He finished it that way.
Wherever Ludwig is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together. Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradis, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradis militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the Living Lands has escaped Adiran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. Fugitives no more. The rebels of Paradis return to their home and to other free settlements, bringing their skills and secrets wherever needed. For once, they have a future. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. For the people of Shatterscarp, independence is bittersweet. Those who cannot withstand the grief inflicted by Ringgrim's spell leave the settlements, vanishing into the wilderness. Those who remain find themselves forced to cooperate with others, often begrudgingly. With so many dead, the need to stave off hunger outweighs any distaste for certain trading partners. Solace Keep clings to its long-held isolation at first. But after mourning her friend Kostya, Mihala reluctantly deigns to open the doors of the fortress. Some dwarves greet newcomers with glee. Others still mutter darkly about outsiders. Mihala flounders in her earliest negotiations with the rest of the Living Lands, but slowly learns compromise. She develops a taste for Valian sweets. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the Living Lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Messiverno lives on in her. In a past life, Yotsley was given a task: protect the history and knowledge of the godless. Now, many lifetimes later, she continues upholding that oath.
She moves into the library in the garden, spending her days poring over the clay tablets there. But not even the letters from, and rare visit to, her lover help ease the loneliness that fills her days. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Soppadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Soppadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the living lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair, scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the Tusk's acid sea. When they break, they come to you to put them back together. And in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them, but they are never far from your thoughts. And on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.
What do they mean about everything is about to change? Yeah, not too bad of a game at all. The exploration and stuff is just the best stuff in the game. Yeah, took us 11 days. So 11 days, and we have been playing anywhere from 6 hours a day, so 66 hours or something. I think we got a good ending though. I mean, one could do is kill the god, and then go with Bloodwind and get a bad ending, I guess. Yep, this one is done. This game is not that short either, so it's gonna be a pretty long game. Next game is we're gonna play is Eternal Strands. also like an RPG. Then next, in the end of this month, Adam 4 comes. This is also an RPG. It's like heaven right now with RPGs. Then in April, I think we have. Where's that? I can only remember Expedition 33 comes out next month. And in May, it's the new Doom game. So, I mean, this spring really has a lot of good games coming out. Or interesting games. Yeah, they've been busy development babies. There's a few voiceover people. What do you think about the game, Kev? I mean, playing with dual pistols was just perfect for me, and of course finding that one with the frost was just top notch. I was just being lazy. I didn't buff myself very often in fights, which I should probably have done with the harder fights. Like I did with the final little fight here with the Ledwin. Yeah, we can. A lot of outsourcing, I see.